Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I'm with me, Robert. He gets to go overseas, McCall.
Yeah, passport's in.
Passport is in.
All you naysayers, shut up.
So, all right, it is our normal YouTube live going here with Disc Golf Answer Man. It's just me and Robert here in the studio. Eric is out in Illinois putting together a course, so we're super excited about that. We got 18 people watching, so welcome 18 people that are watching to the show.
Hey, guys.
We're getting things finalized, set up, ready to record. We're going to start recording, then we're actually going to call Eric McCabe and get him on the phone and talk to him about what he's got going on out in Illinois, what course he's designing, stuff like that. Anything else we got to make sure we talk about, Robert? I've got Europe trip, match play, hand-eye supply, Arrowhead.
Match play is this weekend, man.
I know.
And then we leave on Monday.
I know.
Like, that
okay,
is...
so here's the big thing that got me.
Yeah, okay.
We leave on Monday, right? As soon as
yeah.
match play's over, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Guess what happens when we come back?
Yeah, Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds.
Yeah, we get back on Sunday. Junior Worlds starts on Monday.
Yeah. Jeremy reminded me. It's like, oh, but we get back on Sunday. It's not till Monday. Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We get to sleep one night before hopping straight into it.
2 weeks overseas. Thanks for the 6 hours until we do another major event.
Well, and yeah, we're going to be super jet lagged. Yeah, it's
all good.
Basically, what's going to happen is all juniors are going to walk up to us and be like, Bobby, can I have your autograph? And you're just, no.
No, leave me alone. And they're going to come up to you
no.
and they're going to say,
hey, where's Bobby? So I could ask him for his autograph.
Right.
Hey, where's Bobby?
Someone was at Arrowhead, I think. They said, where's Robert? I want to ask him where you're at.
Dude, in your face.
No, they
dang
said,
it.
ask him where you're at.
I thought we were going to flip-flop it for once.
No, I thought that was funny. All right, let's get set up.
I actually didn't get asked where's Bobby at the stadium event one time.
You didn't? Good.
Basically, I was depressed.
Okay, Eric hasn't replied to me as far as he's ready for the phone call, so we're gonna just go ahead and record the episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
And all right, episode 223. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. I have with me Robert. He's gonna make it after all. McCall. Ooh, I made it rhyme that time,
dude. That's one of your best ones yet.
I know.
They're usually pretty terrible.
So if you guys follow us on the Disc Golf Answer Man, you know that we were a little bit nervous about Robert being able to go overseas because he didn't follow protocol. He didn't listen to everybody telling him what to do.
Okay, no, it wasn't even that. It's just I forgot to sign the form.
Right, exactly.
No, that's not okay. Rusko and I sent our passport applications in at the same time. We packaged them at the same time.
Right.
I just forgot to sign the form.
Did Rusko sign his?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, good news is he has his passport. You got it, what, yesterday or the day before?
A couple days ago.
Days ago. So we're good to go.
There was great relief in my brain. Because, I mean, I knew it was going to get here. I knew, but also I didn't really know if it was going to get here.
I bet you I would have been really. In fact, I was doing some cleaning up of some important paper boxes and stuff that I have, and I found the passport and I opened it up. And I saw 2014, and I freaked out. And then, thankfully, it was the
That's
issue.
when it was issued
that day. So I had like a 1 second freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been going. I wouldn't have got it in time.
Oh, no.
There's no way.
Not a chance.
So anyway, what we're talking about, guys, is we're going to Finland for the Tuni Open. We're going to be there in Finland for about a week. So if you are listening and I know we have some listeners in Finland. We are super excited to see you guys. And then after that, we're going to spend a week in Sweden. Super excited about that. It's going to be Robert's first time overseas, right?
To Finland and Sweden, yes. Yeah. Overseas in general, no.
Oh, okay. But for disc golf, right? Or
definitely for disc golf,
okay.
Yeah. I've been to England and Scotland. That's the only places I've been overseas.
Excellent. So we're super excited about that. I know Eric's excited. Now, we don't have Eric with us. He is in Illinois doing some course design work.
Sorry.
And I'm actually going to see if he can...
If he can join us.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to type him real quick, so bear with us here, people.
I've been to Mexico. Does that count?
That does count.
I've also been to Brazil. Does that count?
That does not count.
Okay.
Why did you go to Brazil?
We had a missionary family at church that was
nice.
down there, so we went down to visit them and see how things were going.
Excellent.
It was awesome. I loved soccer growing up, too, and so we got to play soccer with some Brazilian people, and turns out they're pretty good. I don't know if you knew that about them.
No.
It's kind of one of the things they're known for.
So I'm imagining, I know Anthony's very excited because I've seen it on his Instagram and stuff like that, the whole World Cup that's going on.
Yeah.
You excited about that?
Of course.
What, you got any predictions?
Well, I mean, the kind of the trendy pick is Belgium, and I like that pick personally, but it's kind of hard to bet against, like the perennial favorites, the Brazils, the Frances, the Germanys. I don't know. Belgium knocked us out a couple of years back in kind of a heartbreaker, so I kind of don't want to see them succeed. But since we're not in there, whatever.
I got these new Oculus Go virtual
Dude, I saw that.
reality headsets. They are really cool, but one of the things I can watch is World Cup matches.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So I want to watch one. And there's one with Panama versus, I can't remember who it was. Of course, I'm from Panama, so that's the only reason why I'd watch that one.
Right.
Otherwise, I really don't care.
Everything about you is Panamanian.
Pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, half of me, because my dad was,
yeah.
so anyway.
Well, Brown is a very specific name from Panama.
Yes, it is.
Everyone knows it as that.
Everybody knows the last name Brown is
Yes.
Panamanian,
Yes.
not. All right, so we've got Eric McCabe on the line. We're going to call him real quick so he can fill us in, and then we can get back to some disc golf course design. So bear with us, guys. This is we're going to try to call him in the middle of the episode. Make sure I've got the volume set ready to go. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Good luck, us.
That sounds promising. It's ringing.
Hello.
Here we go. What's up, Eric?
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Yo.
Hot.
Hot. It's actually warm here in the studio as well.
Is it? It's because you got those lights on your faces.
Yeah.
That's
Plus,
true.
guess what else we have for the very first time in studio?
Uh-oh.
We have
Live studio
a
audience.
live studio audience.
What?
Yeah.
We have Robert's wife Shay and Robert's
Ooh.
mom and dad.
Yeah, they're in town. Rick and Joe
How-
Ellis.
how-
There you go.
How nervous are you guys?
Extremely.
I bet.
We said before the show, it should be like we should have a disclaimer like Disc Golf Answer Man has filmed it in front of a live studio
Right, yeah.
audience and have some
Please.
laugh tracks and things like that. But
Please. And then, like, applause.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, Eric, great. Yeah.
Yay.
So
Love
Eric, fill us in. Where are you at and what's going on?
I am always on the go, always on the road, it feels like this year at least. I am currently in Dixon, Illinois.
Oh,
Nice.
It is about 2 hours west of Chicago, and I am here designing a course. They wanted me to come out and just kind of walk the property and make sure that the course, the property, the location was large enough to have an 18-hole course or a 9-hole course. It looks like this first trip we're just going to go with a 9-hole. And since there's no disc golf in Dixon whatsoever, we're going to go with kind of a beginner-friendly style course. A little shorter, a little more technical, but I'll tell you, this place is pretty amazing. It's right along a river, and actually the river's flooding right now because they just got 7 inches of rain just north
Whoa.
of here.
Oh my goodness.
So there's I've got a little feather in the ground at the water line, and it's already come up like 6 inches in an hour or something like that. So it's moving up rapidly. So I'm hoping to get done with everything down in that area before the river comes up anymore. But there's a lot of big mature cottonwood trees. There's actually, what's really cool is there's an eagle's nest in a big tall tree, and there's 2 big eagle in it and some eaglets, I guess you would call them. Little bitty baby eagles that are just kind of hanging out, and
that's cool.
I had the honor today of watching the mom or the dad, I don't know which one, but fly down and grab a squirrel and take it up to feed its babies. It was one of the most epic things I've ever seen in my
Intense
life.
nature show happening right before your eyes, huh?
I know. I just wish I brought the big camera, our nice camera, so I can get some really cool pictures of it. But no, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about this course. What kind of course can people expect in that area?
Well, it's going to be, like I'd mentioned, a little shorter, a little more technical, but there's a slight elevation and some pretty good woods line kind of here and out that are going to allow me to have, baskets kind of tucked into little coves and tees tucked in there as well, kind of shooting through gaps of trees. And to start out, since there's not any disc golf here, we don't really want to discourage any new players from coming in and playing a really challenging course and being kind of scared off. So we want to make it a little bit more beginner friendly, but a layout that your upper advanced pro level player can come out and still enjoy as well.
So you said when you first started, you said that you weren't sure if it was going to be an 18-hole course or a 9-hole course, and now you've decided on 9-hole course. How does that change up how you're going to design it? Does that kind of change up? In other words, if you had your mind was it's going to be 18, but now 9, does that change up how many long holes you're going to have, how many short holes you're going to have? How do you mix it up?
Not necessarily. It doesn't change a whole lot with my mindset going into it. Obviously, the city, the parks department that hired me to come out, they weren't familiar enough with disc golf to know if this piece of land was large enough to have 18 holes.
Right.
And it's we're going to put 9 in on this one little section that kind of plays up and around. And in the future, they want me to come back out and do another 9 on the other side of the road up through the trees. And, my plan is to have it kind of have 2 9-hole loops. Have this front 9 that's going to be a little more open, a little shorter, and have it finish at a place that is not going to be a crazy long walk to hole 10.
Right.
And have the back 9, similar to where it starts and finishes in the same area. So if you want to come out and just play a 9-hole loop, you can come out and play a 9-hole loop, or you can play all 18 if you want. So
nice.
They've got a lot of property out here. They've got like 600 acres or something of untouched woods that, down the road that they may want me to come back out and design a more challenging, more champion level course so they can host events in their area.
Very cool. And you had said something about it didn't seem like there's a lot of disc golf happening around there. Is this kind of their hopes to kind of build the disc golf around that area?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing in the community of Dixon at all.
Okay.
There's another town just west of here, not too terribly far, maybe 10 minutes or so, that has, I think, a 27-hole course and then a 9-hole course. So they've got a couple courses in the area. There's disc golfers in the area for sure, but nothing in this actual community. And as we know, as we've seen in Emporia, they want people coming here. They want people spending money in their community.
Sure.
So how do you do that? You put in a disc golf course.
Now, how did you reach out to them, or did someone reach out to you? How did they, or what was the connection of that town of disc golf and you?
The Parks Department, actually, I think they just did a little research online and narrowed it down through a few different companies and decided to reach out to us.
Nice.
And they reached out to me directly, and I got back to him right away. It was actually kind of funny. He told me one of the main reasons that they went with us was because of our customer service, the fact that I emailed him back immediately, even if I was up in Alaska at the time I got the email. So he was, thrilled that, we went out of our way to make sure that, we got all their questions answered, and customer service side, once again, from Dynamic Discs is second to none. So it just proves once again that it really does help.
Awesome. So what are we looking at as far as timeline from you being there right now until you think you'll see baskets in the ground and ready to go?
Timeline, they're hoping for mid-August to hopefully have the baskets in the ground at least. They're not planning on pouring any tees right away. They're planning on, putting the baskets in the ground and putting markers where the tees are going, and just in case you need to kind of tweak it here and there. Something I always recommend for a little park-style course. And with there not being a lot of cutting or trees that need to be taken out, it's going to be a relatively easy process for them. Really, there's a couple holes where they're going to have to do some trimming or take out some underbrush. But for the most part, the hardest work that they have ahead of them is just putting the holes, digging the holes and pouring the concrete for the ground sleeves. So relatively easy work, and we're looking at sometime mid-August to have the course up, and
wow,
I plan on coming back up for that and little ribbon cutting ceremonies and all that good stuff.
That's a quick
awesome.
turnaround. That's super cool.
Yeah. Anybody asking any questions on the board there?
Well, one person, Flying Visayan, I assume that's how you say it. He says, Eric, just wanted to say great job on the commentary with Denise.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've heard
Well
a lot
done,
of
man.
people say that they really enjoyed that, and
Yeah,
I
it
know
wasn't.
Denise and I had a lot of fun doing it. So.
Yeah, it wasn't either of us, but some people
course.
enjoyed it.
Of course.
But if you're listening in or you're watching, what we're talking about is Terry Miller. We had worked with Terry Miller to bring you guys some Beaver State Fling coverage of the FPO division, and Eric and Denise were able to get on there and do the commentary for that, and that stuff's already out there. So go to the Disc Golf Guy YouTube channel and watch you some disc golf action from the Beaver State Fling.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anybody have any no other questions? Maybe I didn't know if maybe somebody in that area might have a question for Eric on the design.
Not that I can see.
Nice. All right, Eric. Well, we'll let you get back to it. It was good to catch up with you. I know you got a lot to do. Let's see. You just got back from Alaska. You're in Illinois. You're going to be back in Emporia. We're going to be headed to Finland and Sweden.
Whew.
You ready?
Never ends.
I hope you bought a lot of laundry detergent because you're gonna.
Yeah, for real. You're gonna have to.
And then when I get home from Europe, I like have a week turnaround, and I'm going out again to New York for a design. So
Golly,
first we got to have Junior Worlds here in Kansas, and then you can turn around and go.
Yep, exactly.
Golly.
Right after Junior Worlds, I'm headed up to the Northeast for a design, and it never ends. But I love it.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't change it for anything.
Awesome.
Sweet.
All right, we'll let you get back to it. Thanks again, Eric, for checking in, and letting us know what you got going on out on the road. I always call it on assignment, so we'll let you get back to your assignment.
Nice.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to turn on the applause light.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
My parents and Shay left already,
okay,
so
that's
we'll have to fake it.
They already got bored.
They
Yeah,
got. To be fair, they couldn't hear you talking,
That's true.
so they could only hear us listening to you
so
talking.
it just look like you guys are just sitting there not knowing what you're doing.
yeah,
Right.
that's it.
They're probably like,
Excellent.
shouldn't they be talking on this talk show?
Is this like?
I love it. I love it. All
Yeah,
right, guys.
whatever.
Well, I miss you guys, and we'll see you in a couple days.
All right,
right,
take
see you,
care,
man.
Eric.
All right, see you.
All right, well, that was our little check-in with Eric while he's on the road. I wish we should do that more often when he's out traveling, doing courses on, because his hopes, our hopes and dreams is that he's out there all the time designing more disc golf courses, putting disc golf out there for more people to play. So that's super excited. So he said that was in Dixon,
Illinois.
So if you're in the area, be excited because you'll have a new Eric McCabe designed course out there. So exciting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got a few more items to go over, but I want to
Let's
get
catch
into
some questions. Yeah. We did a lot of talking before questions last week. Now let's just get some questions.
Let's just get questions. Remember, guys, send your questions to discgolfanswerman.com. You can either send them on SpeakPipe just like a voicemail, or you can type them into the Google form and we will get them on the air. This first one's from Tyler. He asked a question about Hand-Eye. Just curious, what is Hand-Eye Supply? What's their story? What's their connection with Dynamic?
Good question.
So Hand-Eye Supply is, well, look what I have right here. Hand-Eye Supply. This is the Hand-Eye Supply logo. It's a company. It's an idea designed by Crispin Carrasco. The connection with Dynamic Discs is that I can't remember what year it was he joined the team.
It's been a while back.
Yeah, he's. I guess some people like to call him the OGs, the originals from.
Yeah, he's been around for quite a while.
So he joined the team, Dynamic Discs, and he did some design work for us, and I believe he did some tournament flyer design work for us. But he created this.
Yeah, this is his brainchild.
Yeah, he created this, and it just kind of took off. It's really cool. It's just a unique look to a logo and design. And so
This is called the Breakaway design. Is that what
this is
that what
called
we
the
said?
Breakaway.
Yeah, and he's turning out quite a few designs for us now, and so you're going to see quite a bit more Hand-Eye Supply stuff like that. So that's what that is. And kind of one of the cool things about Hand-Eye Supply is that it's kind of like a mystery, right? I mean, Crispin, if you know Crispin, he's an interesting fellow.
Yes.
Really, really artistically talented, but yeah, he just kind of wants it to be like something that he does and enjoys doing and does for his friends, and now he's reaching a lot more people because it's kind of blown up. So yeah, that's what Hand-Eye Supply is.
And if you like the subscription service model, we have a Hand-Eye subscription service.
Yeah, the Hand-Eye Society.
Yeah, you can go to dynamicdisc.com, go to store, and then look for the subscription service tab or menu item, and boom, you can find out more about signing up to get some really cool stuff, some shirts, minis, and discs.
Cool. Next,
we have Brent. He says, hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew, 2 questions today. I'm looking to improve and play more competitively in tournaments, and I feel like I'm running into a plateau with my game. I'm devoting more time to field work to achieve this. What, if any, drills have helped you improve during field throwing?
For me, when I'm throwing in the field and I want to improve, I want to make sure that I'm focusing on one thing at a time. So instead of going in and saying I want to completely overhaul everything, instead of doing that, I like to go and focus on footwork. Today I'm going to work on footwork and make sure I'm hitting my points exactly how I want to. And today I'm working on reach back. Today I'm working on angles, things like that. So It's not a specific drill, but I think it's just focusing in on what you want to work on that day. Because if you try to do too much at once, it's very unlikely that any of it will stick. So what you really need to do is just make sure that you're drilling down on one thing. And once you have that settled and it feels like a natural part of your swing, go on to the next. You can, Danny's saying you can do the one-step drill if you're trying to make sure that everything is good with your reach back and kind of simplifying, so you don't have to work on footwork. You can do that. You can do a wall drill, which is getting up next to a wall with your chest and making sure that when you pull your arm across that you're pulling it flat instead of kind of rounding your shoulders. You should be able to pull the disc pretty straight across the wall. Things like that will help you out.
If you want to take a look at some videos, Eric Oakley worked with Anthony and Danny to put together some field work videos. I think there's like 6 or 7 of them out right now, and there's 3 or 4 in the queue. There's a playlist called Field Work with Eric Oakley. You can go out there, and he's got all kinds of tips and tricks to help you do some field work. Maybe do links work in the live video chat?
I think so.
Maybe Danny can find that playlist link and put that out there.
Link some of those, yeah.
His second question is, do you have any advice for an intermediate player looking to get over the competitive hump? Any personal examples / stories you guys have, things that helped get you to that next level of play?
I think the competitive hump is largely mental, at least in my opinion. Because if you're...
Is it anything like the Humpty Dance?
Uh-huh. Okay. It's very similar.
Okay.
And all you got to do to get over it is just do the dance.
Do the dance.
Then you're good.
I mean, you'll get your chance.
Yeah.
To do the dance.
Yeah, you will get your chance.
So anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I would say there are not a lot of intermediate players that have vastly different physical skills than advanced players. The difference between the two is usually their ability to execute with those skills every time. So consistency, I would say, is the big difference between an intermediate player and an advanced player, and then the same, an advanced player to an open player. The mistakes that you make, minimizing those, and then making the right mistakes, right? I think that's probably the big competitive hump. And so if I were you, the big thing I would do is work on your mental game so that you can execute just a little bit more. I like reading golf books, golf mental game books for things like that. I've read a whole lot of them because, I don't know, I like reading, and I like trying to improve at things. I like having a mastery mindset on things.
Sure.
And one of those that I really liked a lot is by Dr. Gio Valiante, and it's called Fearless Golf. And then Dr. Bob Rotella wrote another one that I liked called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. Both of those helped me a lot to make some strides and kind of get over that hump.
Excellent. All right, let's move to the next question. For the YouTube listeners or watchers, Danny was able to put that playlist link out there. And for our listeners, you can go to the description of this podcast, and I'll put that link in there so you can check out more field work from Eric Oakley. Next one is on courses. Ooh, I wonder if we should wait till...
Let's check it out.
My question. No, we can get this one. We can handle this one, Robert.
Yeah.
This one's from Austin. Hello, Disc Golf.
What does it have to say about courses? I should wait for Eric to get back.
He says, hello, Disc Golf Answer Man. I have been watching and listening to the show for a while now and love it. Thank you so much, Austin. I'm an intern at Corbin University in Salem, Oregon, and I'm in the process of proposing a new course for my university. It will be a private $3 pay-to-play course. We are working on getting some professional help from local pros to design the course. My question is, how much should we charge for tournaments to be held at the course? Ballpark a price if you can, and keep it real. Oh, I'm going to keep it real. Which camera am I looking at?
I think it's this one.
There it is. I'm going to keep it real.
There you go. Why don't you keep it real, man?
What was the
Do you have
question?
an answer to that?
$3 pay to play is perfectly acceptable, I would think. For the most part, I don't know why you wouldn't charge the $3 for a tournament, and you just tack that onto the players, the fee to play, the entry fee. So say, like, for whatever reason the division costs $45, then charge $48, or charge $45 and then whatever you build into that price, leave $3 for the price of playing that tournament. There's no reason why the course still can't get its $3 for each of those players there.
Sure. Now, if you're going to advertise that you are wanting to raise some money for the course, then maybe you could spell out in the entry fee, $40 is for the tournament, $5 goes to the course, things like that. Yeah. But the short answer is exactly, I was going to say what you said. If it's a pay-to-play course that's always $3 and you're wanting to hold a tournament there, $3 into the entry fee I think is perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Next question comes from Zach. This is on shot selection. I've recently been working on my backhand roller game.
Nice.
It seems most people like to use very understable discs, but so far I've found the best result with my PDs in the neighborhood of a convict, I think, which are slightly overstable.
Okay.
They will go about 400 to 425 feet, 25% longer than my air shots. There's not much lateral movement, and they fall over to the left. How does this behavior differ from an understable roller? Is there a difference in how they're thrown?
Great. Good question, Zach. There is a difference in how they're thrown. If I'm throwing, most of the time I like to throw more of an understable roller. For me, that's a Fusion Renegade, which is a pretty understable disc. So I throw it out on, I'd guess, 45 degrees of anhyzer or something like that. Throw it pretty hard and then let it get to the ground. And kind of my ideal angle that I want it to hit the ground at is, if there's a clock, it'd be right around 11 o'clock is kind of where I want that angle to be, so that it'll ride to the left just a little and then stand up and then move to the right. Okay. And that's the big difference between understable and stable rollers is understable rollers generally want to finish to the right and they require less anhyzer angle to get to the ground. Overstable rollers, like you said with the PD, or I've seen Peter McBride throw a bunch of really, really sick convict rollers. He starts the disc almost at the angle he wants it to roll on. So almost at that 11 o'clock angle, maybe 10 o'clock for him, and he just throws it hard. And the benefit of a stable roller is it will finish to the left. So I think knowing how to throw both types and understanding the finish that you want is when you would choose an overstable roller or an understable one. So yeah, not surprising that those are flying best for you, but you might try something a little bit more understable and starting it on less anhyzer angle so that it can get to the ground on the proper angle.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about how busy we are going to be in the next few weeks, and one of the first things that's coming up, or actually we just had Arrowhead Stadium experience. We'll talk about that in a second, but what I want to talk about is the U.S. Amateur Match Play. This weekend is the championships here in Emporia, Kansas.
Yeah.
We got a full schedule for everybody coming out here starting Thursday, where people are going to be checking in at the Dynamic Disc Retail Store. We're going to have cameras set up. We're going to record some interviews. We're going to have, I guess this is a good time to talk to Robert about what I'd like him to do while we're, is that good?
Yeah, this is all brand new to me, so let's get on it. I mean, I figured I would have some responsibilities, but let's hash those out together.
Let's hash those out together. So on Thursday, we'd like to, from noon to 6 p.m., we're going to be checking in. So what I'm thinking is maybe having you there to do we're not going to be live the entire time, but we'll do live a few times.
Occasionally.
Yeah, we'll get people on the camera, ask where they're from, to ask about their match play event that they won to get there and stuff like that. And then we can handle the recording one, but we need the superstar, Robert McCall, for the live stuff.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
I know.
Ever.
Even though it was kind of a...
Yeah, it was like a backhanded the superstar.
No, I think it'd be good to have you there to do that. So we're going to do that. So make sure you are following Facebook. I don't know if we'll do Facebook. That's a good place for that. So we'll do Facebook Live on there to do that, and you'll get all this stuff on YouTube later as well. Friday is the first round, second round, and third round. That's mostly going to be
Peter Pan.
It's going to be a Peter Pan, and that's mostly we're going to do some filming, create some highlight footage and stuff like that. So may not really need you. Might need you there maybe to interview as they end, maybe interview the loser and the winner and stuff like that.
And live commentary of their shot in a really corny commentary voice.
For all of that?
Yeah, why not? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was going to say
no, that'd be rough.
So and then Saturday we're going to have the matches will continue. Then there's going to be a B tier for the people that did not win on Friday. There's going to be 40 some odd people that end up not.
How many rounds are we playing on? You said 3 rounds, and then how many rounds do we have after that?
2.
Okay.
Well, we have fourth round, a second round. Oh no, a fourth round, and then a semi.
Okay, so fourth round means that there should be 8 people left.
Yes.
Semifinal would be 4 people. Final would be 2 people. So that means that 56 people, if we filled at 64, I don't know if we did. If we did fill at 64, 56 people will be playing the B tier on Saturday.
So we got a B tier for the people that did not make it through the fourth, fifth, or whatever round.
First, second, and third.
That's what I meant.
That is correct.
And and then we'll be at the player reception, and then when we'll need you is do commentary on the first and second people that are shooting out for first and second. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're going to do full production coverage on that.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Yeah, so we'll do that.
So that's when I saved the commentary voice.
That's when we do superstar
Yeah,
commentary.
he's lighting up a big hyzer around the tree here.
Well, you got to say it soft like, lady.
Oh, yeah,
Can
yeah.
you do your voice?
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Okay.
We'll work on it together.
So anyway, so if you want to keep up with the match play action, we're going to have a mix of live and a mix of post-production. As far as the tournament coverage for the people that are going to win, it's going to be post-production on that. So
Yeah, sweet.
And Anthony is amazing. He'll have that ready, put out by Monday afternoon, I bet, so you guys can watch that, all that stuff.
I mean,
Should be
that's
good
probably
stuff.
at the latest, if I had to guess.
Yeah, at the latest. He's going to be working. He's working
Probably
hard
even,
right now.
Probably even Sunday afternoon,
He's biting his fingernails, working.
if I were to guess.
As he gives us a dirty look. So
Yes.
anyway, now if you missed out on match play and you're like, dang it, I should have got in it. We have doubles match play, and that has
Just for you.
Just for you. The registration has opened for that. Local qualifying brackets start between July and August of this year, and then the championships will take place September 28th through 30th. That's changed up just a bit from the original format we had, but make sure you go to
DiscGolfMatchplay.com.
discgolfmatchplay.com. Go to the doubles section and get more information, but get signed up today because that's going to be another exciting round of disc golf match play.
So nice that all those people are going to be coming in for my birthday, because that's when the finals of
Well,
doubles
that's when
is.
we consulted about that. That was why
Yeah.
we picked that day.
So that we could all have a big party together
Right.
while I talk about other people playing disc golf.
Right.
Perfect.
We're going to celebrate by having Robert work.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
All right, let's get back to the questions. This next one is from Joey. We're going to head over the Speak Pipe for this one.
Speed Pike.
Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Joey, Northwest Ohio. A couple episodes back, you answered a question from my wife. Thank you very much. That was pretty cool. But turns out, if your wife calls in, all your buddies in your league and on Facebook like to heckle you because you quote unquote get told on.
In your face. too.
Anyways, my wife just doesn't understand about how many discs I have, because I've learned somewhere that when you buy EMAC Truths, you buy them in bundles of 10.
Yes,
So I just have a bunch of those laying around.
That's correct.
That's what
Anyways, got a question. We did an unsanctioned fundraiser tournament a couple of weeks ago, and it rained miserably at it.
Ouch.
And all the scorecards got wet and ruined halfway through the first round.
Whoa,
so we decided to use UDisc going forward on that.
Yep.
And we all liked it a lot. It's way easier. I think it's way better. So that being said, do you guys see in the foreseeable future in sanctioned events being able to just get rid of the pen and paper and just keep score on your phone? I think it's better. What do you guys think?
I can think of so many, quite a few logistical issues with that. I mean, it's hard to, for me, it's hard to imagine that someone doesn't have some type of smartphone nowadays. But there are people that don't have it, and there's nothing against it. If you don't want or have the need for a smartphone, that's cool. But what if someone doesn't have the
Right.
technology to do that? I could see that as an issue.
Or if a battery goes out in the middle of the round, you're
Right.
done for. Everyone's upset. I like having UDisc because it's easy to keep up with. It totals it for you. That
Right.
takes some of the human error out of it. However, I like having a paper scorecard too because there's no fudging it. I mean, everybody can see it all the time, and at the end, here's physical evidence of how I shot.
I know people don't like to compare disc golf to golf, but do they? I'm assuming they still use a paper scorecard.
Of course.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think it's very rudimentary, very basic, but because of that, it keeps it simple and it's not complicated. Although yes, I love UDisc for what
Same
it
here.
is, but maybe we could be totally wrong. Maybe in the future, we'll all just think our score and blink and go like this. We'll go, how many? What'd you get? Oh, you got a 3? Okay, and that'll just keep score like that.
But then if the Men in Black guys are there with their little memory things, then
yeah.
you're done for. Sorry, man.
By the way, if you're an audio listener, you're wondering what I did.
It was just blinking.
I was blinking.
It's kind of like in The Matrix whenever they run a program into Keanu Reeves' head, and he's
yeah,
like,
he goes,
I know Kung Fu.
Yeah,
You know? That's basically what happened. Yeah.
All right, next one comes from Jay.
Hey there, Disc Golf Answer Man, Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric Emac, McCabe, and Robert Commissioner Warden McCall.
The commission.
This is J Tree Love in Simi Valley, California. A little while back, I asked you guys which 3 West Side discs you would take out for a round,
Nice.
and I then played several rounds with those with just those discs. And while I was able to get par with each set, which is about normal for me, I've been playing for just under a year and a half, I was able to get one under par with one particular set. That was the Stag, the Sling, and the Swan.
Nice.
And that was picked out by Robert.
I was going to
McCall.
say that
Come
sounds
on
like
now.
my
Congratulations,
frisbees.
Robert. You are the disc golf answer man for this week at least.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again for the picks. I had a lot of fun playing with them and learning about those discs. So hope you guys have a safe and fun trip, and I'll catch you next time.
That's awesome.
Thanks,
So-
Jay. I'll take a W literally anytime I can get it.
So what was it? The Stag, the Sling, and the what?
The Stag, the Sling, and the Swan. I went really with it for the alliteration. I didn't even know if they were good discs. They just all started with the same letter.
Sure.
That's not true.
I have never thrown a Stag, so I don't know.
I think you'd really like a Stag.
What does it fly at?
It would be like a little more stable than your Maverick, but not as overstable as like an Explorer or something.
What
like
would
that
it compare to a Northman?
Slower than a Northman.
Slower, huh?
Yeah, but probably similar movement.
Okay.
It was just really pretty straight for me on the hyzer.
And I remember the Sling when we did the Is This Disc Right For You, because of the Trilogy Challenge, I think 2 years ago.
Super straight.
Super straight. And I remember thinking that
Yeah.
was a cool. That was
I
like
think
that disc.
that's kind of the way for me how I feel about Maidens with Wardens. If the Warden didn't exist, I'd probably throw the Maiden a lot because it's awesome. But I love the Warden, and I like how it feels in my hand. I've got ones that I trust. That's kind of how I feel about the Sling. The Sling is a really, really good disc that a lot of times gets overlooked because of the EMAC Truth, right? They fill that same kind of gap. But the Sling is
For me, though, I mean, EMAC Truth would be more overstable than a Sling for me, don't you think? No?
Yeah, I think they're pretty close to one another.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I do think it would be straighter for you for sure, but for me, I think they'd be pretty similar.
Okay.
But anyway, great disc, and then the Swan. You know about the Swan.
Yeah, Swan.
Awesome, Jay. Thanks for reporting back on that, and
That's my official Swan.
thanks for giving me the W.
The W.
Sometimes you just got to take the W when you can get it.
Next one is from Richard. I live in a small rural town. That weird word is weird. Rural. Currently with one course that needs to be removed multiple times throughout.
Wow.
Whoa.
Why's that?
Needs to be removed multiple times throughout the year. I'm wanting to propose to our board of supervisors to create a permanent course. I'm trying to collect data regarding how many people play at the course on a monthly basis. We currently don't have any leagues working on this, so I can't use any of that for data. Any ideas?
How to collect it?
You're just going to have to do the work of sitting there. Well, isn't there I remember back in school, you took a sample
That's
set
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
from like pick a busier day, Saturday, pick a not so busier day, like Tuesday or something like that, and then you're just gonna have to wait and count all them all day, and then do it for Saturday and Sunday, and then just kind of use that as your sample set, and it'll kind of help you guesstimate.
Yeah,
Now,
give you a decent idea.
I imagine some of you analytic people out there are probably punching the radio or the whatever you're listening to because it's all wrong. But I could have swore that's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, just getting a sample and then without actually counting, that's how you can estimate best. So yeah, catch a busy day, catch a not busy day, or if you really wanted to get technical with it, go on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, and then multiply that out throughout the month.
Right.
That might work as well.
I mean,
but if you're not trying to do that, then I think it would be fine to just say, went out on a Tuesday, went out on a Saturday, this is how many people were there, so we have roughly this many people a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Next one comes from Zach again. He even says again. What's the stiffest blend of plastic for the EMAC Truth?
Zach again. That's going to be Prime plastic.
Boom.
Prime is very, very stiff and board flat. Next from that would probably just be regular Lucid.
Next is Justin from St. Louis. Hello, Bobby, Robert, and Eric. New disc golfer here and love the podcast so far.
Thanks, Justin.
Have been catching every episode. Up to now, I've been using Innova discs from friends. Plastics vary from Pro/DX on my putters and a mid-range with a Champion for my other mid-range and drivers. Nothing in my bag is over a 9 as I'm trying to develop consistency and a solid arm speed. With that being said, what plastics would you recommend from DD? Thanks for any advice, guys. P.S. My hands do tend to sweat. That's good to know.
Same, especially when it's very humid outside. Super quick addendum to the past question. Danny reminded me that Lucid X EMAC truths are a thing. They're not readily available, but still, that's probably the stiffest after Prime, but then Lucid Plastic. On to the next. Justin, welcome to Disc Golf. Glad that you're getting into it.
Your life will never be the same.
That's right. How you're doing it is exactly how I started. I started with Innova discs that friends gave to me, and that's what was available in my area. That was before Dynamic Discs made any discs or anything like that, and that's how I learned. And they're great discs. So, with that being said, you said what plastics would you recommend? Well,
yeah,
if you like,
ask about molds. I don't
yeah, we'll make a suggestion or two there. If you're using Pro or DX on your putters, then the comparison to those for our company is going to be either Prime plastic or a classic hard plastic or classic blend plastic. Just kind of feel those, and you can decide which one works for you better. They both have their benefits. So that's going to be your Pro and DX. And then as far as Champion plastic goes, our see-through plastic that you're using is called Lucid plastic on the Dynamic Disc side, and then Opto for Latitude 64 VIP for Westside discs. And those are actually all the same plastics because they're molded in the same factory. If I were you and I was just starting out, if I was going to grab 3 discs to start, I really like the Warden as a first-time putter. If you're putting with beadless AVRs, I think Wardens are a good comparison to something like that. I would try an EMAC Truth might be a little overstable for you, so you might try just a regular Truth or even a Warrant, something like that. If you do get to go play a Trilogy Challenge, the Patrol might be a really good mid-range for you as well. And then for a fairway driver, something just pretty straight, I really like the Maverick. Bobby's been throwing that a lot and getting some good flights out of that. Tell Justin why you like that so much.
What?
The Maverick.
Oh, the Maverick? Because it good. It real good. I'm teasing now.
Killing in my business.
And business it good.
Anytime you can quote Major Payne, it's a good day.
Okay, so for my skill level, I get excited when I can make a disc. Whoa, that was loud. When I can make a disc stand up.
Yeah,
or even when I get it to turn.
Nice
just a
to
little
flat
bit,
it. Yeah,
right?
even push right a little bit.
Because if you're a beginner, the most frustrating thing is always throwing a disc and just going to the left. So the Maverick feels very comfortable in my hand because of the smaller rim. And when I throw it, I can get it to go straight and just glide. It has so much good glide. And then, of course, it'll nice little fade dump in the end. I wouldn't even call it a dump because it just kind of fades at the end. It doesn't really turn hard at the end. So that's why I like the Maverick. Now, I have a Lucid that I bought and a Lucid one that Robert gives me that I can get to stand up and it doesn't turn very much, which is when I want it. That's good. And then I have a hybrid Fusion one, I think it is. And it's one that will turn just a little bit. And depending on how hard I turn it and if I judge the wind, it'll just kind of slowly fall down as it's a little bit turned, or it'll come back just slightly in the middle.
That's your SE one?
Yes.
Okay. So that's actually just a blend of it's called Fusion X plastic. It's just a different blend of Fusion plastic.
All right, next question comes from Pierce Morgan. No, I'm playing. Pierce Monroe.
Wow, I didn't know he listened to the show.
Yeah, of course he
incredible.
did. After his show, he does. He watches our show. He started around America's Got Talent. That's about the time he started listening.
How interesting.
Yeah. Just a little backstory there.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Pierce.
Pierce says, I often have trouble hitting the gaps or lines in the woods and tight courses. Do you have any advice for preparing to hit a gap mentally and then executing the correct shot? I find that sometimes if I think about the trees too much, I'll end up hitting them anyways, or I overcompensate and miss the line completely. Thanks for all that you guys do and keep up the great work.
Nice. Good question, Pierce. I like, when I'm playing in the woods, I like to, and this is the same for me no matter where I'm playing. I want to pick a target that is kind of at the apex of my throw, right? So if I'm throwing a big hyzer, I'm aiming at something that's kind of at like the highest point of where I'm going to throw, and that's what I'm aiming at, because that should be what I should hit. If I'm on the way there, if the path flies to that, I'm in a good spot. Same with an anhyzer. I want to aim at something that is going to be the apex of the anhyzer, where it's going to be the widest before it turns back to the right. So when I play in the woods, and we talked about golf mental books earlier. That was not the right way to say that, but words. Golf mental game books earlier, and one of the ones that I really like talks about having your swing thought be what's my target, right? And so choosing something to aim at, something small, not just a tree, but like, or not a couple of trees or this area, but like I'll pick out like a knot on a tree or a leaf or something like that. And the concept goes aim small, miss small, right? So when I'm in the woods, I pick that target and then I throw confidently at it. Jack Nicklaus used to sway, yeah, because he played golf. So
Right.
to be fair, it wasn't entirely wrong. Jack Nicklaus used to say that he would pick conservative targets and take a cocky swing or a confident swing. And that's what I like to do in the woods. If you try to like ease into your shots into the woods, a lot of times you either miss the gap to the left because you didn't try hard enough, or you make it, but it's just really short. And then, like you said, sometimes you overcompensate and pull it entirely. So I like to choose conservative targets, confident swing. And once I think about that target that I'm aiming at, that's what I look at. I don't try to force it into it. I just take my full swing at it.
So let me ask you this: when you're okay, so I just out of my curiosity, how you do it. So you're at. Let's picture this: you're at the tee pad. You see the basket; it's visible.
Yeah, right.
So you look at it, right, and then you pick your spot where you're going to throw at, depending on the wind and how you want to throw it and what shot you want to get. So I'm looking at it, and then I back up because I'm going to do my run up. As I'm doing my run up, I always look at what I just saw right before I turn my head, and then do the reach back, and then I throw. Is that kind of what you do too?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I find the times that I screw that up is when I'm thinking something like, "Don't look at this tree," and then I look at that tree, and then every time I smoke that tree, just right.
Do you ever think
Sucks.
cheesecake?
No. I've never thought cheesecake before.
Barbecue ribs.
No. I think what's my target? That's my swing.
Pink elephant.
I haven't thought that.
Torchy's taco.
I have thought that now that you say that. Danny's chiming in here. He says he does have a video on hitting gaps if you want to check it out. And one of the things that he says I very much agree with here, and I didn't mention it, but I think it's really important, is keep your head down when you're throwing those. Don't try to look at your release and check if you hit the gap. Make sure you're following all the way through before you look up. And so for me, when I'm playing disc golf, I try and once my arm is across, I try to let my left shoulder kind of pull my head up so that I'm not tempted to look up too quickly. I heard Will Schusterick say once, pull your head up too early to watch your disc go out of bounds, because it means that you're not following through all the way. So
makes sense,
yeah, I like that.
So super excited. Last weekend, a couple days ago, we were in Kansas City, Missouri. We went out and played some disc golf at the Arrowhead Stadium, Disc Golf Experience Arrowhead Stadium. It was we ended up having over 500 players come out and play. Everybody had a great time. Everybody I talked to said it was just one of those once-in-a-lifetime type cool things. Having a great time. It was hot, but everybody had a wonderful time playing disc golf. Thank you to everybody that said hi and shook my hand. We were able to film some stuff. We're going to put together like a video just kind of highlighting what we did. We also filmed a Willett Heiser there on the football field.
That was awesome.
Hopefully that'll turn out really well. I'm a little concerned about the audio because it was pretty windy.
Yeah,
but we still had
the wind was whipping that day for sure.
And then we filmed some doubles throws, I guess you'd say, as Robert, Eric, and Kyle Webster from Team Westside Discs joined us. The three of them joined up and did a doubles shot.
Just randomly with some, like on one hole with some of the groups,
right,
just to be their doubles partner for that hole.
And so that should put together a fun video. So anyway, it's all over, said and done, and we had a great time. Thank you to the over 500 players that came out and the families and friends that came out and joined us. It was a really good time.
Super fun, man. Those are awesome. And like, I think we lose a little bit of the excitement of it because we've done them before, right?
Oh, yeah.
But every time we go to a new place, it's a new thing for somebody else, and they're always stoked about it. And yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. So not 100% sure where we're going to go next, but I know that Doug Bjorkus, the event coordinator extraordinaire, has already reached out to a few different stadiums, so they're in talks. So hopefully we'll be able to announce that, and you guys can plan for that for sure. All right, we got one more speak pipe question. Let's go ahead and listen to that one. This one's from Rock.
G'day, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. This is Rock from Australia. How are ya? Hope you're doing well.
How are ya?
Had the Perth Open on the weekend. It's the premier disc golf tournament in WA. Well run, of course. Had an interesting scenario with a raised basket. During the second round, I sunk an 8-metre putt for my bird on this basket. Now, the basket's cage is about head height for a tall man, and I'm not a tall man, so it's even taller for me. In the getting this putt made me feel really good. You know that feeling when you feel good when your chest puffs out, you start strutting around like a rooster? Yeah, that was kind of what I was doing until the next hole when I hit a tree. But that's beside the point. The next day, we had to play this course again, and I had a 6-metre putt that I airballed, leaving me with a 8-metre putt.
Not good.
And then I airballed my 8-metre putt as well, leaving me with a 10-metre putt. Now, all of my putts are getting 2 metres further away from the basket. Now, this is the opposite of getting towards your goal, as you can tell. Now, my question is, at what point, when you're 3-putting, 4-putting, 5-putting, do you end up swallowing your ego and your pride and just laying the disc up under the basket? I'm really interested. Is there a point where you just go, nah, stuff it, I'm broken, I'm a husk of a man, I'm just going to lay the disc under the basket? Interested to hear your thoughts. Oh, closing the story, I actually sunk the 10-metre putt.
Nice. When I was at the Tulsa Am Jam, Eric Rainey from Team Latitude 64 and Kyle Wilkes, I think, is on Team Innova. I know he throws Innova. Sure. Anyway, they did a clinic for a small group before the Tulsa Am Jam, and Kyle actually gave advice on this. His part was doing putting, and he said that his rule is he never 3-putts. So that's the
must be nice,
right? So he does it to where the point where he will never do more than a 3-putt, or no,
more than putting twice. You mean
right?
Yeah.
So however your strategy is, or whatever if you're going back and forth, he never allows that to happen. So he always tries to play it safe when it's outside of his comfort circle of confidence ring of fire.
Yeah. Words. Yeah.
So I remember he saying that, and I thought that made a lot of sense.
Yeah. There's definitely some strategy when it comes to things like that. I hate 3-putting so much. It's extremely frustrating to do. It doesn't happen to me a whole lot. Usually when it does happen is a situation like Rock said, where I airball a putt that is within my comfort zone. Yeah. Right? Because he said 6 meters, that's around 20 feet, right? And those are ones that we're supposed to make all day, every day. But sometimes you miss them. At Kansas City Wide Open, I 3-putted this weekend. The basket was up on a mound, and there was a right to left wind, and it was tough, and I just missed it to the right, and my next putt was definitely farther away, and I missed that one as well. Made the next one. But in retrospect, I don't think I ever lay that up from that range just because of the result, right? In my mind, I set up to make the putt. I putted confidently. I just pulled it a little bit to the right. Now, if you are outside where you're comfortable, if maybe I was just a little outside the circle and had that much wind, I would probably just lay it up next to the basket. Even though it's probably only 35 feet, and I've made plenty of 35-footers, I would probably just lay it up. So, yeah, it's just all about your strategy at that point, and making sure that if you are uncomfortable over a putt, just lay it up. And then say I get to that mound, and I've putted, and I airballed it, putted, airballed. Maybe after the third, I just lay it up. I'm not really sure. That'd be a hard pill to swallow for sure.
I've seen plenty of situations out there where you just start feeling for the guy after third missed putt, or it's just going back and forth, and then they're farther away than the putt they just did. Right. And it's just wow. At some point, there's some point where you're just looking at it, just freaking lay it up, just put it under the basket.
Right. The biggest thing that you can do wrong in a situation like that is run your first putt confidently, and then when you're on your second, get tentative and try and just ease it in there. Because a lot of times that's not your confident stroke. So I don't know. It's tough, man. It's very tough.
All right, next one comes from Emil. I was wondering about when a person gets too old to pursue success in disc golf. I started playing a year ago, and I'm 29 years old today, and I'm absolutely obsessed with disc golf and play every day. I noticed that I get better and better, have recently started to compete. I want to be a great player, a professional player, and I'm willing to do to work for it? Am I too old to pursue any significant success in disc golf? And then in parentheses, he puts, please be honest, and then keep it real.
Those two go hand
Folks,
in hand.
I'm about to keep it real. Actually, no, let's get your opinion first.
I'll let you keep it real. I think we're probably, well, I don't know if we're on the same page, but go ahead.
So here's the deal. First, let's see. You say, I want to be a great player, and I'm willing to do the work. I guess you got to figure out what is your measure of success. Mm-hmm. If you're 29 years old and you say, my measure of success is I am successful when I win a world championship in the MPO division, let's just say. I would have to say that's probably a fairly lofty goal at your age. I'm not saying it's impossible. Look at Johnny McCabe. He plays in the big tournaments, and he plays in the MPO division, and he plays very well. So it's not that it's impossible. However, keeping it real, time's not on your side in order to do that. Is that fair to say?
It's fair.
Okay, because you got a lot of, you've got Eagle McMahon, who's 18, 19 or something like that. And he's killing the game, and he's going to be in it for another 10, 15 years.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
So, and I, being out there seeing these young kids, there's a few kids that are young that we probably haven't heard of that are just all of a sudden it's going to feel like they just exploded on the scene, but they've just been playing it for a while. Now, if your measure of success is that to go out, be a professional player, and say win and cash at every tournament you play in the MPL division, that's very doable.
Yeah.
You could cash, and you could at least pay for your trip. I cashed enough to pay for the entry fee. I cashed enough to pay for the entry fee and gas to get there. I paid enough to entry fee, gas, hotel, and a little bit extra.
Yeah, a little bit on top, right?
So if that's a measure of success for you, then that is totally doable. But if you want to be MPO world champion, it might be a little too late.
It might. It's also, it's tough because what if you just take off and you have all the skills and your mental game is great. It's entirely possible. What you need to know is that being a full-time professional disc golfer is extremely difficult. There's a reason that we don't have more people out on the road doing it, and it's because it's a really stressful life, and you have to make ends meet financially. It's very, very difficult. Now, we've had major champions, because champions and winners, that's like a synonym. Major champions who are a little bit older, right? Right. Johnny McCabe was right there at the USDGC a few years back. Steve Brinster won the USDGC a couple years back, and he's into his 30s for sure. So there are people who are up there in age. The limiting factor isn't necessarily your age. I think it's your ability to improve quickly and to do the things that you need in order to win. If that's what you define success as, right?
Right.
Now, Danny brings up a good point, and I agree. Probably your biggest limiting factor is injuries, right? So you could be 29 and learning to play, and as long as you're developing good form, you could play for years and years. I mean, look at somebody like Ron Converse. He is into his 50s, and I mean he whoops up on young guys every weekend, because he can throw long. He's got sustainable form, and he is one of the best putters I've ever played with. You might as well just count it. Wherever he is, if he's got a putter in his hand, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to do things that will allow you to win and to have longevity in the sport. And one of the biggest things that will keep you from having longevity is injury.
And and along those lines, as far as your age and injury, is that around 29 years old, you've either thinking about starting a family, or you've already started a family, and let's be honest, that takes up your time.
Right.
There's a trade-off. If you only play disc golf and whatever, then you are obviously going to spend time with your family. But if you spend time with your family, which is important, I'm not saying it's not important, but you spend time with your family, and you're not going to have time to practice disc golf when these guys that are 19, 20 years old that don't have much responsibilities as far as family and stuff like that, they only are caring for themselves, they can go play for hours on hours every night practicing disc golf. So that's something also to take. Again, I only know your situation by the 5 sentences I have in front of me.
Right.
So this is the best answer we can give as far as should you or could you pursue a disc golf career.
But one thing that I love about what you're saying is you say, I want to be a great player, a professional player, and I'm willing to work for it. And Emil, the thing is, you are definitely going to have to work for it. One of the things that I love about disc golf and games like it is that I would do it even if there wasn't money at the end of tournaments. I love getting to compete. I love getting like I talked about that mastery mindset. I love having a mastery mindset where I try to develop mastery of a new skill. Yeah. That's the way I view disc golf. That's why I like golf, because I'm really awful at golf, but I enjoy learning to do new things. Yeah. So if that's your mindset and your goal is mastery, you're going to improve a lot more than if it's just like to cash every once in a while.
Excellent. Next question. Time for one more question. Are there any bags, new colors of bag? Golly. Start from the beginning.
Words.
Are there any new colors of Ranger bags planned to be released soon? Just wondering, since the website only has plain gray, Spec Ops, and the Stars and Stripes. We just had a meeting this morning, and they talked about some new colors for Commanders, but that doesn't mean that Rangers aren't on the horizon. I don't 100% know at this point, but that doesn't mean I don't always know exactly. We don't always know exactly. We have Chris, our awesome product manager, that heads that stuff up. So I don't know. 100%.
Also don't know. One more question.
That
was fast.
Oh, that's true. But I was going to see if maybe YouTube has any questions for us that we could answer on here that hasn't been asked or answered.
I can start looking. If you guys, let's do one more question. And if you guys are watching on live, if you've got a question that you'd like us to answer, go ahead and type that into the chat, and we'll get to that soon. So we'll give you just a couple minutes while we answer another question. All right.
This one's from Clay. I play every day, and I'm your typical student of the game who watches tournaments constantly, always trying to learn. One thing I cannot seem to understand is how to consistently putt well. Over the course of a couple years, I have tried to commit to so many different putting styles, including a turbo putt only style. I can't seem to understand how someone can put so much pace behind a putt without really throwing it.
I see what you mean.
I have never found a video or an explanation of how it works so well.
Clay, if you are interested in getting a little help on that, I would recommend that you go to the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page. You can put a video of yourself putting there, and we can take a look at it. With sight unseen, if I had to guess, I would say that you probably aren't getting enough weight transfer to get the putter to the basket from wherever you want to be. And one of the other things that is difficult about putting that the top guys do well that most amateurs don't is that they've developed their wrist so much so that it looks like they just have a slight bend in their wrist, but the release that they get off of their fingers gives them a ton of speed and a ton of spin. So by the time they're out to 50 feet, they can still stand still and putt and get the putter to the basket every single time. So I would say the things that you would need to work on, especially to become a more consistent putter, is to find a style that keeps you from three putting and allows you to make some putts, and just stick with it. Like don't lean off of that or get scared because you're not making putts. If it's something that you feel confident in, drill that, putt like that all the time. All the time. Do that. And then as you do that, you're going to develop your wrist a little bit more, and that's going to help you to be able to get the putter to the basket a little bit more, and just to eventually get a little bit more spin and pop on your disc, both putting and throwing, because you've developed your wrist like that.
Excellent. Yeah, Sean, just speaking back on the age when you're playing, someone said, didn't A-Ray pick up the game later in life? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and he's such a great guy.
He pretty good.
Even
with some knee problems, he's still pretty good.
Ken says, I'm 55 and just started playing this February, so no MPO World Championship in my future. Way to crush my dreams, guys. Sorry, Ken Jones, but like we do, we like to keep it real.
Ken, you may be the best 55-year-old player ever, so Ken, you might win.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
I'm saying it's nearly impossible.
It's nearly impossible.
It's just probabilities. It's just odds.
Yeah. Robert, what is the most stable plastic to throw? A Warden. And have you tried the Fusion Warden yet?
I have thrown plenty of Fusion Wardens, not of these most recent ones like the Burst Fusion ones, but I've thrown Fusion, I've thrown Lucid, I've thrown Hybrid, I've thrown all of the base plastics. I think the most stable ones I've ever had were fusion ones, but they were like weirdly domey, and they were almost like shields. They were very, very, very overstable. Most of the time I like to carry a hybrid or a lucid warden, and that's kind of my straight to slightly overstable one. And then I carry a blend one for a slightly understable once it works in.
Mr. Drew, how do you mentally prepare to play a course that seems to beat you every time, even though you should do great there, and you go in confident?
How do you prepare to play a course that seems to beat you every time? I think I would just break it.
You've already
if you have that
wrong.
mindset, right? If you have that mindset, then you're off to a rough start. So I think if there's a course like that you have trouble with, just take it shot by shot. This is how I do it on every course, but especially if it's a course you have difficulty with. Shot by shot really helps a lot. To not think about the course, not think about anything else that's upcoming, but throw my drive, then let my mind go and not worry about where my drive is landed, or if I'm going to have a shot, just arrive at my next lie, figure out what I'm going to do, and throw. That helps me a lot instead of worrying that, maybe I'm going to play poorly out there because I have before.
Frank says, hey guys, I'm going to Tyler, Texas in July, my first time to America. Going to play a lot of disc golf, but the most fun part of the trip I'm looking forward to is
Torchy's Tacos.
Torchy's Taco. What can you advise?
Well, we can advise a lot of things, Frank.
I'm so sad there's no Torchy's Taco in Finland and Sweden.
I know, man.
It feels like Torchy's is, now that there's one in Tulsa and there's ones on the way to
they
our
might
Texas
as well
trip.
be overseas.
Come
on, man.
Okay, so what you have got to get is the trailer park and get it extra trashy. That's one thing you got to at least try.
Yep.
If it's your first time to Torchy's, you got to try that. Then check out the taco of the month. It's usually right there displayed on the register right as you order. Read through the description. If it sounds really good, get that. Otherwise, I think you can go with one of Robert's choice because I know he has a staple that he gets just about every time we go.
I like a lot of their tacos.
Right, but there's
like
one
a
that
lot.
you
But
always,
every time I go, I get
like
them.
the first, like if we're going there,
The
and it's
Mr. Orange.
the first Torchy's taco visit of the trip.
The Mr. Orange is what I'm going to get every time. That's a salmon taco. It's got like a black bean pico with some corn in there. It's got like an avocado salsa and a little cotija cheese. And it's incredible. So the Mr. Orange, you have to do that. And you absolutely must get chips and queso. You have to do it. I don't care if you don't think you like cheese or whatever. You're getting chips and queso. Listen closely, Frank. If you don't, you will have wasted your opportunity. Don't forget that.
You basically have wasted your trip to America.
You might as well have not come to America.
Correct.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Dynamic Disc, here on there, Norton.
Here, not there, Norton.
Here, not there, Norton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing a left finishing shot that goes 250. I throw a 350 to 375 drive and was curious what I need to be looking for. It comes out of the turn too early or dives immediately.
And then he amended that later on. And he says right finishing.
There you go.
So here, not there, Norton. You either need to develop a forehand. Forehand is great for a right finishing shot, or you can work on a turnover. Turnovers utilize muscles and angles and body parts that you're already used to using, and so I would probably work on a turnover. Get something that is not super understable, but more neutral. And when you get ready to throw it, you want to stand up just a little bit more than your normal throw, because that's going to allow you to get the disc on a little bit higher plane. That's what you want for an anhyzer. You certainly don't want it to be nose up. You want to finish down toward the ground when you follow through. But yeah, that's what I would do on a turnover.
Taryn has an interesting question.
Super quickly. As always, Danny has plenty of videos on hyzers and hyzers, so check those out.
Oh, absolutely. Would it be unacceptable to play in a men's rec division instead of the women's field if I want to play with different people occasionally instead of the same girls?
Good question, Taryn. No, I don't think that's bad at all. I think if that's the division that you want to compete in, go nuts, do it. Like I love getting to challenge myself, and that would definitely be a challenge for you. So yeah, do it.
Max, hi. Since I've heard you're coming to Finland and Sweden, I know you guys talk about Järva Disc Golf Park quite a lot as one of your favorite courses. The course is having an ongoing battle with the town. Ah, yes, I've heard of that.
Heard about that,
So
yeah.
since you are coming to Sweden, will you be at Järva? And would you consider doing some sort of video to shed some light on what an amazing course it is? Max, it's something we will think about and consider. I do know that we have a full agenda of what we will be doing, which is pretty much jam-packed with meetings, meeting with people, meeting with more people.
We're also going to be meeting with some people.
I think we're going to be meeting people, and then there's actually the Skellefteå Open, which is what I'm going to be attending, and I'm sure I'll be doing some video work there as well. So, but that's something we'll definitely keep in mind because that is a beautiful place we don't want to see go away.
Yeah. Polar Bear in the chat says, I have a Marshall in blend plastic, and I got it for throwing off the tee, but I'm finding that I'm flipping it over. What should I do to fix this? Polar Bear, if the Marshall is pretty new, you're probably getting some off-axis torque on it. The Marshall's a pretty stable to overstable putter, and so it shouldn't be flipping over for you. Ensure that your angle of reach back matches your angle at release, matches your angle of follow through. I would definitely work on matching those together and making sure that you're not rolling your wrist over to the right or trying to whip your arm through too quickly. Instead, just accelerating through smoothly.
David, you should sit and recover and just watch the show. Anytime your body is hurting like that you think it's going to affect your play, that's your body telling you to slow down. Danny made some suggestions on smoothing out and with something with getting your elbow as far away from your body. I think that's great advice, but if your body is hurting enough that you're wondering whether you should play, you probably shouldn't play. Just take a break. It's okay. Disc golf will be there when you get back, but that's your body saying something isn't right. You're not doing something right. Give me some time to heal. Hey.
Yeah. Super quick. Death Sonic says, how is Dynamic Discs affiliated with Latitude 64 and Westside Discs?
We are not.
We're doing our own thing.
Yeah, no. Just kidding.
Death Sonic, good question. Latitude 64 produces the discs for Latitude 64 Dynamic Discs and Westside Discs. And then I guess it was last year now. October-ish of last year.
Oh, yeah.
Latitude 64 and Dynamic Discs purchased Westside Discs 50-50. So now we own that company as well. Tim Courts, or Tyim, or however you say it. I did get my passport. Thank you for checking. I will be going to Europe now, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we're all excited.
Oh, hey, Ryan Nick is in the chat.
What's up, Ryan Nick?
I started watching Mike Conley's In the Bag video. Haven't finished it yet, but so far looks awesome. Keep up the good work, my friend.
When are you going to do some work for us, Ryan?
Yeah, what the heck, Ryan?
Of course, I know we've talked about it before. We'll get something figured out, but yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
How dare you?
Dare you.
But also, thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. Wrong door guy. Almost had a guy going in wrong door here at the studio. All right, well, that's coming up on enough time for Disc Golf Answer Man questions.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Real quick, the Utah Open, I haven't really followed it much, but if you have been following the Utah Open.
Well, you can't have followed it yet because it hasn't started.
I meant follow like knowing that I haven't looked at the course. and
It's the same one as last year. Pretty big Open.
I have never followed the Utah
really?
Open.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, it's on a golf course. It's a pretty big course. Ricky won there last year with the walk-off ace on hole 18. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, is that the one that everybody got super excited?
He and Anthon were.
Yes,
he had gotten up. I believe he was up 2 on Anthon going into 18. Hit the ace to win it. Guess that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, this is a course that I feel like we say this a lot. It's going to benefit the long thrower. They have holes out there that are now accessible to them where most people who have distance like mine or even maybe just a little bit farther are just going to be treating some of those par 3s as par 4s and par 4s as par 5s.
Excellent.
So anyway.
So are we thinking maybe Eagle will be up there again?
It's hard to bet against Eagle right now.
Yeah.
He's playing exceptionally well. And the thing that Eagle struggles with, I feel like, is having his putt be consistent because he always throws well. His touch game is usually pretty good, and it's definitely been good this year. But his putt has been just on.
Yeah,
I mean, just beeline at the basket, confident stroke. You love to see it.
And then I think Paige Pierce is already on her way or making her way to Europe.
I think she flew out yesterday.
Oh, she did already.
Either yesterday or today.
So what's she going to do out there early?
She's going to Iceland first to do some clinics and things that she set up earlier this year, and then we'll meet up with her. I think around Toonie time.
Excellent.
Toonie time. That sounds funny.
That sounds like a playlist or some Toonie time.
Yeah, Toonie time.
Too neat time. All right, so make sure you get your picks in for. We're not going to talk much about this particular tournament. I don't have much to say about it other than what Robert already said.
Yeah, I already said all of it.
Stuff.
Things.
So go to skipace.com, join the league DGAM, get your picks in. We've already sent out stuff to people. If I've sent you stuff and you email me back and I haven't replied yet, I just want to say thank you so much for the emails. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the little gifts and goodies that I send out for playing the Disc Golf Answer Man Skip Ace Fantasy Disc Golf. Make sure you get in there and play. Who is in the lead right now after me? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. No, you're just listed first.
I'm 313. I've done horrible because I.
Well, it's good. Well, I mean, you've stayed probably around the same because you didn't pick for several
I know.
weeks.
Andrew Neufeld is now in the lead, or he was in the lead last time we talked, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't had an event.
Have we?
We talked about it last. No,
I don't think they did Zoo Town.
There was a weekend in between.
That's
yeah.
right. Hang in there, Daniel. I mean, Andrew. And, there's a Daniel. Third place.
Yeah,
there we
third
go.
place. But hang in there too.
Yeah.
And you, Kevin, in second place.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Make sure you guys get your picks in, and we'll. Whoa, wait.
Yeah. What's our schedule?
Holy moly, we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna be back with Junior Worlds.
So are we gonna try and do Answer Man on the road? Surely we'll take the stuff.
I'm gonna take some of the stuff.
Not all this. We're not gonna bring the table. I can tell you that.
I don't know that I can bring. I'm not gonna bring the 3 cameras.
No.
By the way, we have 3 cameras now.
Oh well.
Here, Danny, let's show them the angles real down. Danny, put
camera
on me
1.
there. It's the camera 1.
Well, actually, that's camera
That's
something.
actually camera something, and then the middle camera.
Yeah. Here's camera 1.
Ooh, look at the fancy fade, and then camera 2.
Camera 2.
Look
So-
at that dissolve, Danny.
that
getting
only-
good.
Only reminds me of Wayne's World. Just camera 1, camera 2.
Okay, let's not
Camera
get too
1,
fancy,
camera
Danny, with the swipes and stuff. This isn't an 80s show. Anyway, I'm gonna take something we're gonna see about recording some stuff while we're out there, but I don't know that it'll be a regularly scheduled
Right.
every week thing. But we're
Right.
gonna have some fun when we're out there for the Disc Golf Answer Man show for sure.
Yeah. So if nothing else, you can follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Dynamic Discs. Eric McCabe and I will also be out there. My Instagram is at JRobertMcCall. Eric's is Eric_McCabe.
What's mine?
Bobby's is Uncle Bobby Jr.
He knows it.
Yeah, man. But he's usually just on Dynamic Discs doing
Right.
the thing.
So-
but yeah, follow us. We'll post pictures,
Right.
videos, things like that. Even if we aren't able to do the full podcast, we still want you guys to be able to see what we're doing.
So if you're in the Skip Ace League, go ahead and do all the events, and when we come back and we do a regular episode, which will probably be about a month, then we'll take a look and we'll have some fun with it there. Cool?
Yes. Also, Eric McCabe, not Eric_McCabe. My fault.
Yes.
There it is. I know nothing.
Yes, nothing. All right, thank you guys so much. We will see you when we see you.
Yeah, sometime.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.